Lord is an appellation for a person or deity who has authority, control, or power over others, acting like master, a chief, or a ruler. The appellation can also denote certain persons who hold a title of the peerage in the United Kingdom, or are entitled to courtesy titles. The collective lords can refer to a group or body of peers. Etymology. According to the Oxford Dictionary of English, the etymology of the word can be traced back to the Old English word laford, which originated from lafward, meaning loaf ward or bread keeper, reflecting the Germanic tribal custom of a chieftain providing food for his followers. The appellation lord is primarily applied to men, while for women the appellation lady is used. However, this is no longer universal. The Lord of Man, a title currently held by the Queen of the United Kingdom, and female Lord Mayors are examples of women who are styled Lord. Historical usage. Feudalism. Under the feudal system, lord had a wide, loose, and varied meaning. An overlord was a person from whom a landholding or a manor was held by a mean lord or vassal under various forms of feudal land tenure. The modern term, landlord, is a vestigial survival of this function. A liege lord was a person to whom a vassal owed sworn allegiance. Neither of these terms were titular dignities but rather factual appellations, which described the relationship between two or more persons within the highly stratified feudal social system. For example, a man might be lord of the manor to his own tenants but also a vassal of his own overlord, who in turn was a vassal of the king. Where a knight was a lord of the manor, he was referred to in contemporary documents as John, Knight, Lord of. A feudal baron was a true titular dignity, with the right to attend parliament, but a feudal baron, lord of the manor of many manors, was a vassal of the king. Lord of the manor. The substantive title of Lord of the Manor came into use in the English medieval system of feudalism after the Norman conquest of 1066. The title, Lord of the Manor, was a titular feudal dignity which derived its force from the existence and operation of a manorial court or court baronet which he or his steward presided. To the tenants of a manor, the lord was a man who commanded on occasion the power of exercising capital punishment over them. The term invariably used in contemporary medieval documents is simply Lord of X, X being the name of the manor. The term, Lord of the Manor, is a recent usage of historians to distinguish such lords from feudal barons and other powerful persons referred to in ancient documents variously as sire, dominus, lord, etc. The title of Lord of the Manor is recognized by the British government in the form of the Her Majesty's Land Registry, as one of three elements of a manor that can affect land registry. Modern legal cases have been won by persons claiming rights as lords of the manor over village greens. The heads of many ancient English land-owning families have continued to be lords of the manor of lands they have inherited. The UK Identity and Passport Service will include such titles on a British passport as an observation, provided the holder can provide documentary evidence of ownership, as will Passport Canada. The United States, however, forbids the use of all titles on passports. Australia forbids the use of titles on passports if those titles have not been awarded by the Crown of the Commonwealth. Laird. The Scottish title laird is a shortened form of laford, which is an Old Scottish word deriving from an Anglo-Saxon term meaning lord, and is also derived from the Middle English word laird, also meaning lord. Laird is a hereditary title for the owner of a landed estate in the United Kingdom and is a title of gentry. The title of laird may carry certain local or feudal rights, although unlike a Scottish lordship of Parliament, a lairdship has not always carried voting rights, either in the historic Parliament of Scotland or after unification with the Kingdom of England, in the British House of Lords. Modern usage. Peerage. Lord is used as a generic term to denote members of the peerage. 5 ranks of peer exist in the United Kingdom, in descending order. These are Duke, Marquess, Earl, Viscount, and Baron. The appellation Lord is used most often by barons, who are rarely addressed by the formal and legal title of Baron, a notable exception being during a baron's introduction into the House of Lords, when he begins his oath by saying, "I, Baron X of Y." The correct style is the Lord. For example, Alfred Tennyson, 1st Baron Tennyson, is commonly known as the Lord Tennyson. Marquesses, earls and viscounts are commonly also addressed as Lord. Dukes use the style the Duke of and are not correctly referred to as Lord. Dukes are formally addressed as Your Grace, rather than My Lord. In the peerage of Scotland, the members of the lowest level of the peerage have the substantive title Lord of Parliament, rather than Baron. Lord is also used as a courtesy title for some or all of the children of senior members of the peerage. For example, the younger sons of dukes and marquesses are entitled to use the style Lord, as these titles are merely courtesy titles. The holder is not by virtue of the title a member of the peerage and is not entitled to use the definite article the as part of the title. House of Lords in the UK. The upper House of Parliament is officially termed the House of Peers, but is commonly called the House of Lords. The rank of Baron is the most ancient degree of English nobility, and a commoner who is raised directly to a high degree in the peerage. For example, a former Prime Minister who becomes an Earl is always created a Baron at the same time, by historic precedent. Indeed, the peerage was anciently termed the baronage before the higher degrees were created. 3 different classifications exist. Most peers who hold peerages created before the Life Peerages Act 1958 are hereditary peers, who until 1999 constituted the most numerous category of peers sitting in the House. There are in excess of 700 peers whose titles are heritable. However, since the House of Lords Act 1999, they are no longer guaranteed a seat in the Lords and instead may take part in an election for a total of 92 seats in that House. All male members of the Peerage of England, the Peerage of Great Britain and the Peerage of the United Kingdom were before 1999 entitled to sit in the House of Lords by virtue of the title. Peeresses were granted the right to sit by the Peerage Act 1963. Peers of Scotland and Ireland, however, historically had limitations on the right to sit in the British Parliament. Between 1707 and 1963, Scottish peers participated in elections to determine which of them would take the 16 seats allocated to them as a whole. These elections were abolished by the Peerage Act 1963, and from then until 1999 all Scottish peers and peeresses were entitled to sit. Irish peers participated in similar elections from 1801 until 1922, when the Irish Free State was established. Elections of Irish peers ceased in 1922. However, already elected Irish representative peers remained entitled to sit until their deaths. The last Irish representative peer to die was Francis Needy, 4th Earl of Kilmorey, who died in 1961. Many Irish peers also hold peerages of Great Britain or of the United Kingdom, which formally entitled them to sit in the House until 1999. The importance and legal significance of hereditary peers has declined steadily following the increase in the appointments of life peers. Life peers are entitled to sit in the House of Lords for the duration of their lives, but the titles are not hereditable by their heirs. Life peerages have, so far, been created in the rank of Baron only. It is also possible for a life peer concurrently to hold a hereditary peerage of higher rank. The first life peers were appointed to assist in exercising the judicial functions of the House of Lords under the Appellate Jurisdiction Act 1876. Widespread appointment of life peers was enabled by the Life Peerages Act 1958. Since that act, about 1,086 life peers have been created. The only hereditary privilege associated with life peerages is that children of life peers are entitled to style themselves the Honourable. These first two groups are collectively and officially termed Lords Temporal, as opposed to the third type of deemed barons sitting in the House, known as Lords Spiritual. This last group consists of 26 Church of England bishops who are appointed in order of superiority. Unlike Lords Temporal, who can be appointed from any of the 4 constituent nations of the UK, only bishops with English sees are eligible to sit in the upper chamber. Bishops of the Church of Scotland traditionally sat in the Parliament of Scotland but were excluded in 1638 following the Scottish Reformation. Bishops in the Church of Scotland no longer exist in the traditional sense, and that church has never sent members to sit in the House of Lords. The Church of Ireland ceased to send bishops to sit after disestablishment of the Church of Ireland in 1871. The Church in Wales ceased to be a part of the Church of England in 1920 following disestablishment of the Church in Wales. Accordingly, bishops of the Church in Wales were no longer eligible to be appointed to the House of Lords as bishops of the Church of England. Judiciary. Until the creation of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, certain judges sat in the House of Lords by virtue of holding life peerages. They were known collectively as the Law Lords. Those Law Lords who had held the office of Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom lost the right to sit and vote in the House of Lords, despite retaining the life peerages. Upon creation of the Supreme Court, the appellation Lord is also used to refer to some judges in certain Commonwealth legal systems who are not peers. Some such judges, for instance judges of the Court of Appeal of England and Wales, are called Lord Justice. Other Commonwealth judges, for example judges of Canadian provincial Supreme Courts, are known only as justices but are addressed with deference in court as my lord, my lady, your lordship, or your ladyship. Examples of judges who use the appellation Lord include justices of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom not holding peerages, who are addressed as if they were life peers by royal warrant. Wives of male justices who are not peers are addressed as if they were wives of peers. These forms of address are applicable both in court and in social contexts. Judges of the Court of Appeal of England and Wales, known as Lord Justices of Appeal. Judges of the Scottish Court of Session, known as Lords of Council and Session. Justices of the Canadian Provincial Supreme Courts, addressed in court as my lord or my lady, and referred to in legal literature as lordships or ladyships. Judges of the Supreme Court of India and the High Courts of India, who are addressed as my lord in court. The Bar Council of India, however, calls upon lawyers to give up this practice of addressing judges as lords. Other. Various other high offices of state in the United Kingdom, Commonwealth and Republic of Ireland are prefixed with the deferential appellation of Lord, such as Lord Chancellor, Lord Privy Seal, Lord President of the Council and Lord Mayor. Holders of these offices are not ex officio peers, although the holders of some of the offices were in the past always peers. Non-English equivalents. In most cultures in Europe an equivalent appellation denoting deference exists. The French term Monseigneur, shortened to the modern French Monsieur, derives directly from the Latin seniorum, meaning elder, senior. For this Latin source derived directly also the Italian signor, the Spanish señor, the Portuguese senhor. Non-Romance languages have their own equivalents. Of the Germanic family there is the Dutch Meneer, Mynheer, de Heer, German Herr, and Danish Herr. All three of these stem from a Germanic title of respect. In other European languages there is Welsh Arglwydd, Hungarian Greek Kyrie, Polish pan, Czech pan, Breton true, Albanian zloty. In several Indian languages there are have, Hindi Swami, Prabhu, Samprabhu. Also words like Saheb, Lord Saheb from Lord Saheb were once used but have changed in meaning now. Telugu Prabhu, Tamil Koman, P. Kannada Dor, Bengali Prabhu, Gujarati Swami, Punjabi Swami, Nepali Prabhu. Words like Swami and Prabhu are Sanskrit origin words, common in many Indian languages. Philippine languages have different words for Lord, some of which are cognates. Tagalog has Panginoon for Lord in both the noble and the religious senses. Its root, Ginus, is also found in Visayan languages like Cebuano as the term for Lord. Ginu is also the Tagalog root for Ginong, the modern equivalent of the English term Mr. Ilocano meanwhile employs apo for Lord. In religious contexts, it is a particle that generally accords respect to an addressee of higher status than the speaker. Religion. Lord is used as a title of deference for various gods or deities. The earliest recorded use of Lord in the English language in a religious context was by English Bible translators such as Bede. It was widely used in the King James Bible translated in the 17th century. See also Jesus is Lord. In English language Old Testament Bibles such as the King James Version, the Hebrew name YHWH is usually rendered the Lord. This usage follows the Jewish practice of substituting the spoken Hebrew word Adonai for appearances of YHWH. Christianity. Jesus is called Lord in the New Testament. Islam. The English term Lord is often used to translate the Arabic term Rab, used with respect to Allah. Hinduism. In Hindu theology, the Svalim Bhagavan may refer to the concept of the absolute representation of the monotheistic God. Another name used more commonly used in Hindu theology is Ishwara, meaning the Lord, the personal God consisting of the trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Semitic religions, other deities given corresponding appellations to Lord include Baal was used by the Canaanites both as a generic term of address to various local deities and as the spoken name for the storm god Baal-Haddu. Once the form Hadad became too sacred for any but his high priest to utter. Similarly, Tammuz came to be addressed as Adoni, meaning Lord, as in Sumerian deities Enki and in Lil. Buddhism, it refers to the Buddha, and in Jainism to the Mahavira. Nahuatl, the word Ahau, is translated as Lord in reference to Aztec deities. Greece, Adonis was a form of the Semitic Adoni. Old Norse, the names Frey and Freya have the meaning Lord and Lady. Wicca, the Wiccan god is often referred to as the Lord, and the Wiccan goddess as the Lady, or in the combination Lord and Lady, usually in reference to a mythological pairing such as Cernunnos and Ceridwen. Mormonism. It is believed that Jesus was the YHVH of the Old Testament in his premortal existence, and since the name is translated as the Lord in the King James Bible, in Mormonism the Lord refers to Jesus. Elohim, a separate individual who is the father of Jesus, is generally referred to by Mormons as God or Heavenly Father.